Now when the kings of the Amorites, who were on the other side of the Jordan, who were in the hill country, and who were in the plain, and who were in all the coast of the great sea, and who were near Anti-Lebanon, and the Kettites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Amorites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites heard, they gathered together, all of them with one accord, to make war against Jesus and Israel. Then Jesus built an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, on Mount Gibal, as Moses the attendant of the Lord had commanded the sons of Israel, as it is written in the law of Moses, an altar of whole stones on which iron was not applied. And he brought up there whole burnt offerings to the Lord, and an offering of deliverance. And Jesus wrote on the stones Deuteronomion, a law of Moses, which he wrote in the presence of the sons of Israel. And all Israel and their elders and their judges and their scribes passed on one side, and on the other side of the ark, opposite, and the priests and the Levites took up the ark of the covenant of the Lord. And the guest and the native born, half of them were near Mount Gerizim, and half of them were near Mount Gibal, as Moses the attendant of the Lord commanded at first, to bless the people. And after these things Jesus thus read all the words of this law, the blessings and the curses, according to all things written in the law of Moses. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded Jesus that Jesus did not read, in the ears of all the assembly of the sons of Israel, to the men and the women and the children, and the guests who attached themselves to Israel. And the inhabitants of Gibeon heard all that the Lord did to Jericho and to Gai, and indeed they on their part acted with cunning, and they went, prepared provisions, and got themselves ready. And they put old sacks on their donkeys, and old and torn bound up wineskins, and the hollows of their shoes and their sandals were old and clouted on their feet, and their garments were worn out upon them, and the bread of their provision was dry and mouldy and bug-infested. And they came to Jesus into the camp of Israel to Galgala, and they said to Jesus and Israel, We have come from a land far away. Now then make a covenant with us. And the sons of Israel said to the Korite, Take heed, lest you live with me, and how I am to make a covenant with you. And they said to Jesus, We are your domestics. And Jesus said to them, From where are you, and from where have you come? And they said, Your servants have come from a land very far away, in the name of the Lord your God. For we have heard his name and what he did in Egypt, and what he did to the kings of the Amorites who were on the other side of the Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and to Og king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth and in Edrei. And when they heard, our elders and all the inhabitants of our land spoke to us, saying, Take provision for yourselves for the journey, and go to meet them, and you shall say to them, We are your domestics. Now then make a covenant with us. These are the loaves. We took them for our journey when they were hot on the day on which we set out to come to you. But now they are dried and have become bug-infested. And these are the skins of wine that we filled when they were new, and they are burst. And our garments and our shoes are worn out because of the very long journey. And the leaders took of their provision, and did not ask the Lord. And Jesus made peace with them, and they made a covenant with them to preserve them, and the leaders of the congregation swore an oath to them. And it happened 3 days after they had made a covenant with them, that they heard that they were close by them, and that they were living among them. And the sons of Israel set out and came to their cities. And their cities were Gibeon, and Kephirah, and Beerot, and Jarin city. But the sons of Israel did not fight against them, because all the leaders had sworn to them by the Lord, the God of Israel. And all the congregation murmured against the leaders. And the leaders said to all the congregation, We have sworn to them by the Lord, the God of Israel, and now we shall not be able to touch them. This we will do, take them alive, and we will preserve them, and there shall not be wrath against us because of the oath that we swore to them. They shall live, and shall be hewers of wood, and drawers of water for all the congregation, as the leaders said to them. And Jesus called them together and said to them, Why have you misled me, saying, We live very far away from you, but you are fellow dwellers, those who live among us. And now you are cursed. There shall not be lacking from you a slave or a hewer of wood, for me and my God. And they answered Jesus, saying, It was reported to us what the Lord your God instructed his servant Moses, to give you this land, and to destroy us and all its inhabitants from before you, And we greatly feared for our lives before you and did this thing. And now see, we are in your power. Do to us as it is pleasing to you, and as it seems right to you. And thus they did to them. And Jesus rescued them on that day out of the hands of the sons of Israel, and they did not kill them. And Jesus made them on that day hewers of wood, and drawers of water, for the whole congregation, and for the altar of God. Therefore the inhabitants of Gibeon became hewers of wood, and drawers of water, of the altar of God until this very day, and in the place that the Lord should choose. And when Adoni-Bezek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Jesus had taken Gai and had utterly destroyed it, as they did to Jericho and its king, so they did to Gai and its king, and that the inhabitants of Gibeon had deserted to Jesus and to Israel, then they became greatly frightened by means of them, for he knew that Gibeon was a large city, like one of the mother cities, and all its men were strong. And Adoni-Bezek, king of Jerusalem, sent to Elam, king of Hebron, and to Phidon, king of Jeremoth, and to Jephthah, king of Lachish, and to Debir, king of Odolam, saying, Come up here to me and help me, and let us go to war with Gibeon, for they have deserted to Jesus and to the sons of Israel. And the 5 kings of the Jebusites, the king of Jerusalem, and the king of Hebron, and the king of Jeremoth, and the king of Lachish, and the king of Odolam, went up, they and all their people, and surrounded Gibeon and besieged it. And the inhabitants of Gibeon sent to Jesus into the camp of Israel to Galgala, saying, Do not relax your hands from your servants. Come up to us quickly, and rescue us and help us, for all the kings of the Amorites who live in the hill country are gathered together against us. And Jesus went up out of Galgala, he and all the military men with him, every one mighty in strength. And the Lord said to Jesus, Do not fear them, for I have delivered them into your hands. Not one of them shall be left before you. And Jesus came upon them suddenly. He entered all night out of Galgala. And the Lord confounded them before the sons of Israel. And the Lord shattered them with great destruction at Gibeon. And they pursued them by the way of the ascent of Horonin, and cut them down as far as Azekah, and as far as Makkedah. Now as they fled from before the sons of Israel, upon the descent of Horonin, then the Lord threw down upon them hailstones from heaven, as far as Azekah. And there were more who died through the hailstones, than those whom the sons of Israel killed by dagger in the battle. Then Jesus spoke to the Lord on the day when God delivered the Amorite into the control of Israel, when he shattered them at Gibeon, and they were shattered before the sons of Israel. And Jesus said, Let the sun stand at Gibeon, and the moon at the ravine of Elon. And the sun stood still, and the moon was in position, until God avenged himself on their enemies. And the sun stood in mid-heaven. It did not go forward to set until the end of one day. And there was not such a day either before or after, so that a God heeded a human being, because the Lord fought alongside Israel. And those 5 kings fled and hid themselves in the cave that was in Makkedah. And it was told Jesus, saying, The 5 kings have been found, hidden in the cave that is in Makkedah. And Jesus said, Roll stones against the mouth of the cave, and set men to guard over it. But you, do not stand in pursuing after your enemies, and lay hold of their rear guard. And do not let them enter into their cities, for the Lord our God has given them into our hands. And it happened, when Jesus and every son of Israel finished smiting them with a very great slaughter, all the way to the end, that those who survived sought survival in the strong cities. And all the people returned, sound, to Jesus to Makkedah, and no one of the sons of Israel grumbled with his tongue. And Jesus said, Open the cave, and bring these 5 kings out of the cave. And they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the king of Jerusalem, and the king of Hebron, and the king of Jeremoth, and the king of Lachish, and the king of Odolam. And when they brought them out to Jesus, then Jesus called together all Israel and the chiefs of war who went with him, saying to them, Come forward, and put your feet on their necks. And they came forward and put their feet on their necks. And Jesus said to them, Neither fear them, nor be cowardly. Be manly and strong, for thus the Lord will do to all your enemies against whom you fight. And Jesus killed them, and he hung them on 5 trees. And they hung upon the trees until evening. And it happened toward sunset that Jesus commanded, and they took them down from the trees, and threw them into the cave, there where they had fled for refuge, and they rolled stones against the cave until this very day. And they took Makkedah on that day, and they slew it with the edge of the rapier, and they utterly destroyed everything breathing in it, and there was no one left in it that survived and had escaped. And they did to the king of Makkedah as they did to the king of Jericho. And Jesus departed out of Makkedah, and all Israel with him, to Libnah, and he besieged Libnah. And the Lord delivered it into the hands of Israel, and they took it and its king, and they slew it with the edge of the rapier, and everything breathing in it, and there was not left in it one that survived and had escaped. And they did to its king as they did to the king of Jericho. And Jesus departed out of Libnah, and all Israel with him, to Lachish, and surrounded it and besieged it. And the Lord delivered Lachish into the hands of Israel. And he took it on the second day, and they slew it with the edge of the rapier, and they utterly destroyed it as they did to Libnah. Then Elam, king of Gazer, came up to help Lachish, and Jesus smote him with the edge of the rapier, and his people, until there was not left of them any who survived and had escaped. And Jesus departed out of Lachish, and all Israel with him, to Odolam, and surrounded it and besieged it. And the Lord delivered it into the hand of Israel, and he took it on that day, and slew it with the edge of the rapier, and they slew everything breathing in it, as they did to Lachish. And Jesus and all Israel with him departed to Hebron and surrounded it. And he smote it with the edge of the rapier, and everything breathing, as many as were in it. There was not anyone who survived. As they did to Odolam, they utterly destroyed it, and as many as were in it. And Jesus and all Israel returned to Debir. And when they had surrounded it, they took it and its king and its villages, and they smote it with the edge of the rapier, and they utterly destroyed it and everything breathing in it. And they did not leave it anyone who survived. As they did to Hebron and its king, so they did to Debir and its king. And Jesus smote all the land of the hill country, and the Negeb and the plain, and Asadoth and its kings. They did not leave any of them who survived. And they utterly destroyed everything that breathed with life, as the Lord the God of Israel commanded, from Kadesh Barnea as far as Gaza, all Gosam as far as Gibeon. And Jesus smote, once for all their kings in their land, because the Lord, the God of Israel, fought alongside Israel.